What is this about? What is this movie about? It's a great story. It's a detective thriller. All these different angles with corruption and water and the horrible family secrets that get let out, the love interest between Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. But really what it's about is the tragedy of good intentions, the futility of good intentions. The reason it's called Chinatown is because of an interaction that the screenwriter Robert Towne had with an actual vice cop from who had worked in Chinatown, and they were just sort of talking, I guess, and he said to him, "So what do you do exactly on when you're at work?" And the vice cop said, "As little as possible." And you can hear at the end Jack Nicholson, after Faye Dunaway's character is dead, he says, he's just sort of staring in disbelief, and I'm almost positive I heard him say this, it's a whisper, but he said, "As little as possible." Meaning, in real life, Robert Towne said, "Well, what do you mean by that? You do as little as possible? Isn't it your job to be a cop?" And the cop said, "Because in Chinatown there's so many different languages and cultures and things happening that we don't really understand. By doing something, we're working against ourselves. So we don't know if we're helping to stop a crime or helping a crime to be committed. So the best thing is to just stay out of it." And that's the point of this movie, I think, is that Jack Nicholson doesn't learn this lesson. He wants to help. He wants to stop the corruption and the water dumpage during the drought. They're dumping however many gallons of water, wasting it in the middle of a drought. He wants to find out what's behind it. He wants to find out what's behind with this woman. And he ends up getting her killed because he pushes and pushes. He's trying to do the right thing, and he ends up getting her killed. That's the point of Chinatown, is the sort of this tragedy of good intentions. You want these things to end up well. He's getting involved, trying to help, but he's having the opposite effect. And you can see in the movie that this had happened to him before. They do talk about Chinatown when he used to work there, particularly when they're in bed together, Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. And so he hadn't learned his lesson. And there's some really interesting symbols in the movie that sort of reference this idea, which was the glasses that he found at the house of Evelyn Mulwray. One of the lenses is broken and the other is intact. At the end, when Evelyn Mulwray gets shot, she gets shot through one eye, and you can see it. It's as clear as day. So one eye's intact and the other eye's not. To me, that's kind of a symbolic of, well, you're not seeing the situation clearly, are you? We never do. And it's maybe not just this particular situation, but it could be anything. You think you're seeing things clearly, but one eye is seeing it clearly maybe, and the other one's not. You're not at full vision here. You don't see the whole picture. And in the movie, John Huston's character says to Jack Nicholson, "You may think you know what you're dealing with here, but you have no idea." And he was right. Jack Nicholson kept poking. He had no idea how powerful Noah Cross was. He had no idea what happened between Faye Dunaway and her father. He had no idea.